it at the right point. Vegas looking for something new off the bench. His shot, they score!
Number 8, Troy and Boise State. Look at this stiff arm from Avery Williams.
Oh!
Get off me! Get off me! Avery Williams exploring the stadium space back to
tried to get it to Tanner, couldn't hold on. Here's Caldwell Pope. Porzingis in pursuit, and Paul throws it down. What a pass from Caldwell Pope.
Good afternoon and happy first week of the new year, and welcome to your weekly episode of The Page presented by 24/7 Sports. Well, happy new year, gentlemen. As always, Cameron Taylor, Noah Matthews, Colby Andrews, and we have our first episode of the new year today. Really excited, and we got a lot of traction last time, or a decent amount, so we're really excited to keep this going in week 2. So we're going to hop right into things to make sure our video is bearable for you to watch, not too long. So playoff time in the NFL is here. You have your elite teams who've made it, some of your kind of moderate teams that are pretty much in the worst position. They don't know what they're going to do. They're kind of stuck in the middle. And then there's your teams who want a top 10 draft pick, somebody who they can build their franchise around for the future. Last year we saw a lot of very solid top 10 draft picks, so I just want to take a few minutes and go through them, boom or bust, really quick. We're going to go through it fast for our boom or bust topic this week. You ready? Mm-hmm. So last year, the 2017 NFL Draft, the number 1 overall pick selected by the Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett out of Texas A&M.
Didn't see the field that much this year due to some injuries and stuff, but when he was on the field, his talent definitely showed through, so I'm going to bet on that talent, and I'm going to go with the boom.
Pretty good showing at the Combine, so I'm also going to say boom.
When he was healthy, when he was on the field, I saw a lot of greatness out of Myles Garrett. Could be a cornerstone for this team in the future. With the second overall pick, the Chicago Bears traded up. They traded with the San Francisco 49ers and selected a quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, out of the University of North Carolina.
As much as I hate to say it because I got to root for all of the ACC, but I'm going to go with the bust for him based on what they gave up to move up with San Francisco to get him, and based on the fact that Deshaun Watson was still available.
He doesn't have enough leadership. That's just outright.
Yeah, one-year starter at UNC, so... But that can develop over time, I think, the leadership. I'm going to say a bust for this year, but I don't think he's going to be a bust for the future. He is the stereotypical pocket passer quarterback.
But he's not going to live up to the number 2 draft pick.
I don't know if he'll live up to a number 2 draft pick, but we will see. You know, we've seen weirder things happen. We've seen a 6th-round pick become the best player ever. All right, with the number 3 pick, the San Francisco 49ers focused on their defense. Again, yes. Drafting Solomon Thomas. I can never get that right. Solomon Thomas, a defensive end out of Stanford.
I think it's going to end up being a great pick. They've really focused on their defensive line, tried to build through the trenches because they also focused with their offensive line as well. Building through the trenches is a great way to basically turn an entire franchise around. Not to mention getting a steal of a trade with Jimmy Garoppolo. Watch out for San Francisco next year. Solomon Thomas and the entire San Francisco 49ers will be a boom.
I'm just going to second that.
I think with their defense, the way it's looking, very young, very fit, very agile. With Garoppolo now, watch out for San Francisco next year. Could be a little bit of a dark horse. With the 4th overall pick, we went running back. Leonard Fournette will go to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's really hard to say because I'm still in the boat where the running backs aren't quite worth a top 5 draft pick because you can get guys later but you can get guys later like Alvin Kamara and Kareem Hunt, Dalvin Cook, all of them. Even Christian McCaffrey didn't do that much either for him. So any of the top rookie running backs, I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette. He's going to be really well, and I think the focusing on the running game really turned Jacksonville around. So I am going to go with a boom, but just be wary of drafting a running back in the 1st round.
I'm going to say that he's a boom just because seeing him in college, he runs over kids. And
you don't like that, do you?
Yeah, well,
I like Leonard Fournette. I think he's going to be really good in a few years. Of course, he's going to go through his ups and downs, but I like him. I really like Jacksonville. I do too. I think they're better than people are giving them credit for. That defense is stellar. So 5th pick, we're halfway through now. With the 5th pick of the 2017 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans, another playoff team, select Corey Davis, a wide receiver out of Western Michigan.
All right. He also had a few injuries, but I love Corey Davis. I'm a huge Corey Davis fan, and I'm gonna go with him being a boom. He is gonna be their go-to guy for years to come. Marcus Mariota had his ups and downs this year, but he's gonna start finding Corey Davis. Maybe even this weekend against the Chiefs. Corey Davis is gonna be really, really good. I'm going boom.
He is a boom. Seeing him in college as well, at their perfect season and everything, 2 years ago.
Yep. I really like what Tennessee's doing. Derrick Henry, Marcus Mariota, and now Corey Davis. That's a really good young core. So, just like the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think we're seeing a resurgence of some of these bad teams of the past. They're building them draft picks. I really like what they're doing in Tennessee.
Except the Browns.
Yeah, except the Browns. I really like what they're doing in Tennessee, and I think this is a good pick. Like you said, injury-ridden, but good pick for the future. With the 6th overall pick, the New York Jets took Jamal Adams, a safety out of LSU. I'm sure you have a comment about this.
Great pick. Arguably the best secondary player in the draft. Him and Lattimore for the Saints.
I liked Hooker, but he didn't.
Hooker's different.
Yeah.
They're different types of safeties. I am such a huge fan of Jamal Adams. I think the Jets were incredibly lucky to get into him. He is patrolling their secondary for the next 15 years. I'm going definite boom.
I guess I'll just second that then. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Yeah.
The Jets are abysmal, so any sign of life they can get, I like him. I totally agree. He's going to be really good for them, and they definitely need someone to be a leader on that defense because they're terrible.
Hey, they drafted him and that safety from the second round.
Yeah, it's gonna take a little more though. All right. So with the 7th overall pick, we saw the Los Angeles Chargers. That sounds so weird to say. I still can't get over that. Los Angeles Chargers select Mike Williams, wide receiver out of Clemson University.
It pains me to say this because I love Clemson. I love the ACC in general.
I like Mike Williams,
but
too.
I think he's going to be a bust. As many injury issues as he's had, and some of I think he had a few contract disputes. I'm not entirely sure about that.
Bad start to the year for him.
Bad start to it. You can always turn it around, but I just don't see it happening. The talent's there. He's just got to make sure to utilize it. I'm going bust as much as it hurts me to say.
I'm actually going to say boom, just because of his skills in college as well. I know I'm really referring to college, but...
Yeah, you're a college analyst down there.
That's what really makes or breaks you for the NFL as well, too, so...
I like Mike Williams, and I think he has potential to be good in the future. I just think it's going to take some time to develop. The injuries, he could be a bust, he could be a boom. I'm pulling that hybrid card that I tend to pull a lot. It could go either way for me. I think it's too early to tell for him, but he's got some things he's got to work out before he'll be really good. All right, almost done here. We got pick number 8. The Carolina Panthers take... Yes, sir. Christian McCaffrey, running back out of Stanford. My favorite pick of the draft, just because I love Christian McCaffrey. Had him on my fantasy team. I really feel like he could have had a lot better year. A little bit slow, I think. But with him and Stewart, it's expected when you're splitting time as a running back. He's really young. He's really good. I love Christian McCaffrey.
I completely agree. I don't think Carolina used him to the fullest of his fullest of his abilities this year. I think that's going to come with more time. But even in the role that they used him, he finished with the 4th most receptions by a rookie running back in NFL history. Him and Kamara was one catch ahead of him, so he was 3rd. No, Christian McCaffrey is really good. He is a foundational building block, and with Cam Newton in that offense, it's going to be dangerous for years to come.
I'm going to say that he's a boom, and we'll see how he does tomorrow against the Saints in the playoffs.
Yep.
So,
all right, with pick number 9, the fastest man in the NFL, John Ross, goes to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bust. Flat out bust.
Yeah,
I'm calling it.
I'm just going to say bust.
Bengals have had a few bust issues the past few years with him and the guy they took last year. Tyler Boyd is the one I'm thinking. I'm not thinking the 1st round pick. But they haven't been great at finding talent in wide receivers. I feel like his ceiling is Deshaun Jackson, and that's at the very best. Not quite what you want from a number 9 overall pick.
Number 9 overall pick, yes.
I'm going to go bust.
I'm going to say I really liked him coming out of college. I thought he'd make a lot bigger impact. This year, definitely a bust.
Disappointing.
I don't think he'll be a full-out bust like you're saying. I think he'll have some moments, some really good moments. But I don't...
Reminds me of Tyler Lockett.
From what I'm seeing right now, with Andy Dalton at quarterback, I'm sorry. No.
Put McCarron in.
I'm
AJ McCarron.
but-
They have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I'll
All right, Bama, you got anything on my boy John Ross?
Bust.
Bust.
About all I got.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, and finally to wrap up our 2017 first round top 10, a pick I really liked, Kansas City, a bit of a shocker team this year. Really bad second half of the year, but they take Patrick Mahomes, quarterback out of Texas Tech. He was seen as kind of a person who could take over Alex Smith's job if Alex Smith had a bad year, but we did not see Alex Smith having a bad year, actually, which is something that kind of surprised me. But what do you think?
Oh, no. I never expected Alex Smith to have a bad year.
We've seen one start out of Patrick. Do we have enough to tell if he's going to be a boomer or bust yet?
Mahomes is going to be really good. I'm telling you guys, he's going to be really
He's getting that little
really
smile on his
good.
face.
Yes, but Patrick Mahomes is going to be really good. I wish my Giants had drafted him.
You wish
But-
your Giants had drafted him.
I do, because maybe then we wouldn't be in this predicament that we're in now. But, no, Patrick Mahomes is going to be really, really good. I can just imagine. He had the strongest arm in last year's draft. I can just imagine him slinging the ball straight up the middle to Travis Kelce, down the sidelines to Tyreek Hill. It's going to be really, really, really good.
I'm just gonna say boom. Yeah, second that. All of that.
Boom.
Yeah,
All right.
That's all I got.
Well, we're going to take a short break here, and we'll come right back with our next section, which we're going to be talking about coaching vacancies. So please enjoy this little video about the NFL or something that we're going to put in here to fill the time. Welcome back to the page presented by 24/7 Sports. We're going to hop right into our next topic, a pretty big one going around the league as playoff time is here, NFL coaching vacancies. Gentlemen, this year we have 6 vacancies as of the moment right now. The Oakland Raiders, who's actually been filled
So really
already.
5, though.
So really
Yeah.
5. We have the Oakland Raiders, who
John Gruden.
many said was the big one. The Detroit Lions, the Chicago Bears, the New York Giants, the Arizona Cardinals. Those are your NFL coaching
Let me correct
vacancies.
you really quick. The Giants vacancy is the big one because that's where
No.
pretty much anyone. That's the
No,
most
no.
desirable job on the market.
No, I disagree.
Oh, you're
I
wrong.
think the Detroit Lions gig is the most desirable one. Think about this. This is a team that has been like 8-8 for like the past 9 years. Like they've always been right in the middle.
Man, that was
They have a
interesting.
franchise quarterback in Matthew Stafford and a lot of pieces to build around. If I was a coach, Detroit is the job I want.
They have Matthew Stafford and who else? A few guys on
Matthew
defense.
Stafford is a franchise quarterback if I've ever seen one.
But I'd rather be the head coach of the Giants, and that's not just because I am a little bit biased. Well, a lot of it biased, but I'd still rather be the head coach of the Giants because they have literally everything they need. Eli Manning can still do it. They don't have an offensive line. That's what they need to get, and they don't have linebackers. That's what they need to get. So those two position groups are so much easier to fix than the quarterback position is. So any of the other teams, or like the Lions you were talking about, they need what? Everything except for the quarterback in the secondary?
No.
Yeah, that's true. They need everything except the quarterback in the secondary.
The Lions are the best job there, hands down.
Wrong. I would have said Oakland, other than the Giants,
Oh,
but
they're
Khalil Mack,
taking
Derek
them.
Carr, Amari Cooper.
Well, if you had to
Yeah,
pick
John
one,
Gruden
if you had to pick one of these teams, you wouldn't want to coach for. What's the worst gig out there?
Cardinals.
Chicago. You got a liability.
I
You
don't
do have
like-
Tariq Cohen, but you have a liability in
I don't like the
Mitchell
Cardinals.
Trubisky.
Now I'm gonna agree with Colby here on the Cardinals. At least
They don't have a
Chicago
quarterback.
has stuff to build around. Chicago has stuff to build around, man.
The
I don't-
Cardinals,
So
To be
The
honest,
Cardinals
young,
just-
up and coming defense.
the Cardinals just lost their quarterback too because he retired.
right?
Mhm.
And
We'll see.
Larry Fitzgerald's gonna retire. The
And-
Cardinals,
and
the
the
fact
Cardinals are
that-
old. They have Robert Kimdichie and who else?
Right now,
Chandler
I think the hardest situation to go into, maybe not the worst, but the hardest is going to be your Giants. You have
No.
okay. Who's going to want to go to New York in free agency? They don't
A
have
lot of
They
people.
don't have a locker room. They have a quarterback
Yes, they do.
situation. Ben McAdoo lost the locker room. You
He's
have,
not there
you
anymore.
have players calling other players cancer on the same team.
We have 3 problems in our locker room. We have gotten rid of one of them. We benched the other 2. Eli Apple, if he's benched, he's got a clean slate with new GM Dave Gettleman. So we're going to see what happens with Apple. We are not giving up on him. Eric Flowers, we can get rid of him for all I care. Goodbye, Eric Flowers. And then Ben McAdoo's already gone. So it really is not as bad as you're making it out to seem. We have a whole new regime coming in.
Regime?
Wow, what are you-
Whoa, some terrorist organization coming up?
No,
Whoa.
it's not. Typically, regimes, you think more of political powers that are already in place.
All right, we gotta
But-
keep on a schedule here, Noah.
No, the Giants are going to be Giants have the most talent of all the free agency spots that are open. The one thing with the Giants that they have to fix, or not that they have to fix, but that the new coach has to take into account, is the media, and that's it.
Okay, one final thing I really want to say is, what's your opinion of the Gruden situation going on in Oakland? He is going to be their next head coach.
Great hire.
You like it? Great hire? Well,
Yeah.
okay, so I
completely
so
agree.
I think it's a great hire. You do have to take into consideration, after he won the Super Bowl, there were a lot of 8-8 years. There's a couple of them. He really did struggle. I do think he'll be fine. I think Oakland will be awesome. They have a ton of
They have a ton of talent.
talent.
Yeah.
This year was just really unexpected for me. But I like the hire. I do think they need to be a little skeptical. I do think it's smart that they didn't offer him any ownership. Or they did, but he didn't take it or whatever they did. Yeah.
One thing with Oakland is the fact that if Gruden does not go very long with them, they gave him a 10-year contract for $100 million. That's what college coaches get. That's insane to me for an NFL coach with that.
Okay. Any other comments on our 6 coaching vacancies? 6 coaching vacancies.
We can talk about the coaching candidates. coming
Coaching
in next
candidates?
year.
All right, so who do you like?
Josh McDaniels,
Mhm.
I really like. I'm a little bit more invested in the coaching search than usual because of my Giants, but
We should be with the Redskins, but that's
Not the
irrelevant.
Steelers.
no, Jay Gruden's a good coach. I really like Josh McDaniels. I think he's definitely learned from his time under Bill Belichick, but Matt Patricia's not my favorite. He literally is a rocket scientist, but I don't see him having success in the NFL on his own. Pat Shurmur from the Vikings, despite that stint with the Browns, they're the Browns, I think Pat Shurmur is going to be a really good head coach in the NFL. And then, kind of an oddball one here for me, the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback coach, John DeFilippo. I think his work with Carson Wentz speaks
Yeah,
for
but
itself.
they're-
And even with no time as an offensive coordinator, he
They're not gonna
screams
take-
Sean McVay.
Yeah,
now.
but they're not going to do
He
that.
has to be a coordinator.
You have to be a
first.
coordinator almost in the NFL.
But what about
almost.
I'd just like
So-
to throw out a name real quick. Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator
bad.
for the Eagles.
I
like him.
like it. I like a defensive-minded coach.
and he's
It's
a
not-
coordinator.
It's kind of
That'd be a coordinator
Odd, but-
first.
So I do want to talk about the Indianapolis job because we didn't really hit a lot on it, but they have Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
Going into a situation with Andrew Luck, we forget that he's going to be healthy again next
But
year.
you're going into a situation with only Andrew Luck.
What, T.Y. Hilton?
Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton. What else?
You need 33 players, offense, defense, special.
That's true.
That's
I
true.
just, I mean,
And
I
backups.
do think there's
Yeah, and
potential in
backups.
Indianapolis. Jacoby Brissett is not the answer.
No. Well, they have
Definitely.
Andrew Luck. Of course, you could
Right.
reverse. That's not the answer.
Um,
One guy to look out for their job that I think would really use Andrew Luck to the fullest of his ability is the Chiefs' offensive coordinator, Matt Nagy. I think he'd be really, really good in Indianapolis. I'd be fine with him going to my Giants too, but
Matt Nagy. All right, gentlemen, do you have any other comments about the NFL coaching tree and what is going on right now? Anything? All right, so do we want to just hop right into our next topics, I guess?
Yep.
So what we got going on next is our segment of the show where we have our topics of choice. We're going to keep these brief because it's kind of our personal thing. We each should have brought something to present, kind of, sort of. Done our research. Probably not this man standing next to me. So
need to research.
I'll go first. So I'm a big hockey guy. We don't talk much about hockey. We got an odd hockey stick back here. Kind of for no reason.
Off-centered hockey
But,
stick.
but it's okay. So I am going to talk about the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the 31st NHL hockey team, brand new this year. What I like about the Golden Knights. So actually coming in, I was skeptical of the Golden Knights. I really didn't like the thought of an expansion team, much less to the Sin City. You know, what is
Yeah.
that really going to do for the NHL? Come on, it's going to give it a bad rap. I think the NHL is a very classy league as it is, very professional. compared to some other sports. You don't see a lot of drama come out of the NHL.
You just see them beat the crap out of each other on
Yeah,
the
you
ice.
just see them
fight, yeah.
you just see them fight, but you
Classy.
don't hear the drama like you do with the NFL, like
Because it's
national
not
anthem.
because it's not as publicized with it. Think of
Okay, you're taking this
Alright,
too far.
okay.
Taking this too far.
Slop
The
of
Vegas
fun,
Golden Knights coming in 31st team. Everybody thinks they're going to have an abysmal year. They come in, of course, a week or two right before the season starts. We have the tragedy in Vegas, something very sad. You know, of course, we send out our thoughts and prayers to the victims. But they're 28-10-2. They're first place in the Pacific. The Vegas Golden Knights have totally changed sports forever.
Oh, I completely agree.
This team's crazy. If you watch the video, I'll put the link down below of opening night. That place is insane. Every single home game so far has been sold out. The community is rallying around this team. It couldn't have come in a more perfect time for Las Vegas. This is insane.
I completely agree. I think all you have to do to really look at how great of a franchise they are is take a look at the Twitter account. It's phenomenal. Whoever runs that should be the highest paid Twitter account runner in all of sports because it is really, really funny.
I know you like that. And just to, run some stats by you, they are second in goals per game. They're averaging about 3.5 goals per game. I know that doesn't sound right, but yeah, they're averaging a little over 3 goals a game.
That's really good in hockey.
That
I don't
is.
know a lot about hockey, but
Yeah.
that's really good.
They're 12th for shots on goal in the league, so they're in the top half of the league there, and they're third in shooting percentage. That means every shot they take, so you take a shot if it hits the goal. They're third, so their offense is just lethal. And of course, you have Marc-Andre Fleury in at goal, who
PK
is
Subban's
a
brother.
future Hall of Famer. Yeah, this team is just unreal.
Cannot believe Pittsburgh didn't protect him.
This team is unreal. I'm sorry, I just can't get over it. Colby, I know you're not a hockey guy. I'm the only hockey guy here, but any opinion on the Vegas Golden Knights?
Well, it was good timing for him, after the shooting and everything.
Definitely. Very, very emotional. They came out with the first responders on the
And
ice.
that video, that was kind of cool.
It was very cool, and I'll have the link to some of that below. All right, who's next? Noah, Colby, anybody want to go first? Next
I'll go.
topic of choice.
I'll go. So my topic of choice coming into this week was basically, it actually really came out yesterday, so I kind of this is really recent. The whole thing with Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and Tom Brady about how there's a lot of drama between the three of them, and the Seth Wickersham report on ESPN, which I will link that down in the article too, or down in the comments, but basically the Patriots, I think this could be the beginning of the end for that trilogy, or that trinity.
I agree with that.
I think Tom Brady's getting up there, Bill Belichick's getting up there, Robert Kraft's not going anywhere, he's the owner. No, I think that this entire issue between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, with Brady kind of advocating for the trade of Jimmy Garoppolo and Bill Belichick somewhat being forced or given a mandate to trade Jimmy Garoppolo for a second round pick, that's crazy to me. With the Patriots being forced, or with Bill Belichick being forced to trade Jimmy Garoppolo, because he has control of basically their entire personnel. Bill Belichick is one of those kind of a head coach, somewhat a general manager combo. So I think that the Patriots really got to be careful with this, trade the water thin, and personally, as much as I hate to say this, I love Tom Brady. I've always loved Tom Brady. He's the greatest player to ever play the game. And of course, his accomplishments aren't going to be tarnished by this if he kind of had a hand in the Jimmy Garoppolo trade, but I think it hurts his reputation.
So, actually, Belichick coming out yesterday as well, saying that this riff was actually non-existent, and it was made up by the media.
Of course they're going to say that.
Do we believe that is the real question that we need to, we don't have an answer to?
I don't know. Is it fake news?
I don't think that the rift is as big as people are making it seem. Of course, when you have 3 elite people, 3 of probably the most elite people in the NFL, there is going to be some conflict, but I don't think any of the 3 of them are going anywhere. Obviously, Kraft's not going anywhere, but
Brady's going to retire a Patriot. He's never going to play another.
Yeah, Brady is stupid to leave that system where he fits. And
he's not a system quarterback, though.
But he fits with the Patriots. That's just it.
No, I think the Patriots fit with Brady.
Right,
There's a
yeah.
difference there.
which I don't think he'll get if he goes anywhere else. And then Belichick, why would Belichick leave?
Well, there's one very, very specific reason why he would leave. He would leave to prove that he can win without Tom Brady. He would leave to prove
I
that
don't think
he
he
is a
would do
great
that.
coach.
I'm
I'm not saying I think he would.
He's top
but that's
5 greatest
the
coach
only
ever.
reason.
I don't.
He's arguably the greatest. Him,
Yeah.
Vince Lombardi,
Oh.
Bill Parcells.
Well, he is the greatest, but
That's arguable.
No, I think
But
he's-
that's a topic for another time. No, but I think it hurts Brady's reputation, and
Belichick doesn't want to rebuild though. So
Yeah,
he's staying with the Patriots too.
well,
Yeah,
honestly, every team
that's,
is
you're stupid if you're leaving the
Is-
Patriots.
yeah,
that's
I
all I'm
agree.
gonna say.
I agree. Unless you're going for money, and he's not going to get more money than he's getting from the Patriots anywhere else as a coach.
So Kraft, Brady.
I
Belichick.
think one more point to bring out into this is the fact that these guys have been working together for 18 years. There's obviously been some differences between them, some disagreements. What makes us think that this one's any different from one they had in
They've
year
managed to
2,
work
year
through it
7,
for 18
year
years.
11? So I think I kind of do agree that this is a little overblown. As much as I would love to see Bill Belichick mutually agree to part ways with the Patriots and come over to his New York Giants, where he started his career, where he grew up, where he rightfully belongs.
Okay. You have to bring the Giants into everything, don't you?
Only things with football.
Okay. So, are you satisfied? Are you good?
I'm fairly satisfied.
You satisfied?
I'm
We
fairly
don't think
satisfied.
anything's going to happen to the trio
Oh no.
unless Brady retires.
I
think if he win-
he-
That's
if he-
the only way.
I think if he
something
wins the
happens.
Super Bowl, I think he's out. I think that's.
I think he wants to play till he's 45.
I could see
I
that.
mean,
I could
you
see
know,
that out of Brady, though.
I mean, if I was him, I'd be loving to play football, but I would also be loving to stay at home with Giselle. So.
Oh my gosh.
So pretty.
Does that have a copyright infringement in it? Or something? Alright, so, Kobe, you're up now, I
Oh
guess.
yeah. Okay. So my whole topic is basically if there's been a few like articles and stuff about how if the college football playoff is really better than the BCS. And I totally believe that the college football playoff is much better than the bowl championship series, which ran for like 15 years, I believe.
Something like that.
To
yes.
2013 is when it ended. And I really only have like 3 reasons.
There's not many
but
reasons. I think it's fairly obvious that the
Yeah,
college football playoff's better.
And there's-
it proves my point that college football playoff draws more viewers. It's more all around complete, including more teams.
It's more
in.
competitive.
Yeah, for sure. And the whole money coming in, a lot more money, advertisements,
Yep.
and the fan bases, like the meeting people, really
I
drawing in
have
more people.
another point with that. I think it changes the entire outlook of the regular season as well. Because if before that you're just trying to be like, if you're one of those borderline teams, you're just trying to win 6, 7 games, however many it took to get into the bowl game or to
6.
get a bowl
Now
game.
you
Now
can lose
you're-
a game and still.
Now, if you're
It's up to
not
the committee.
now if you're not in Alabama, and Ohio State, a Clemson, like one of those signature like perennial powerhouses, you still have a chance. You saw it last year with Washington.
We
getting
see
in
it
there.
this year with UCF.
Well,
Even
UCF
though,
did.
even though they
UCF
didn't make
played
it,
in there.
even though
Play
they didn't
anybody.
make it,
Yeah.
I know, but even though they didn't make it, they still make a case for the college football playoffs.
I think they should have made
Well,
it. I
see,
think they
I
should have
agree.
made it,
In the BCS with that, they probably would have made it because they were undefeated.
Right. So yeah. So
Because-
the one
But
one
UCF
con
is not better than Alabama. UCF's
Oh,
not
for
better
sure.
than any of the other three teams. that are in
doing
college football
doing
playoff.
research for this, when you told me you were going to be talking about this topic, the only real con I found was people saying it does make football season a little longer, more injuries.
Oh, well.
I
that's-
disagree.
I-
Well, you can't just
that's
say that
just-
with injuries.
well, that's
but
part of football,
It's part of
though.
football.
Personally, I want 8 teams. I want
I
an
agree.
18
I
playoff.
completely
No.
agree. I completely
No.
agree.
Totally.
No.
I think it'd be awesome.
Personally, I say just get rid of the entire bowl game, every single bowl game, and just make it a giant bracket like they do for NCAA basketball.
A 64 team bracket.
64 team bracket.
We're gonna be playing football until July. So.
Hey, start it earlier.
Okay, so the thing with the 14 playoff, I feel like, or with an 18, if you expand, even 16, is people are not really happy with the results coming out of just 8 teams. And they'll want 16, and then 32, and then it'll become a 64 team playoff. And maybe you'll have some playing games too, make it like 68
No,
teams.
I say you either keep it 4, go up to 8, or you go straight to 64. I don't think anything in between.
Well, I think 16's a good number.
No, I don't think
No.
so. I don't think 16 is a
Okay.
good number because I think it kind of lets go of the hype. I feel like teams that are winning or that are losing 4 games shouldn't really make it into a playoff unless it's a big tournament like that.
All right, well, we're running out of time here. Any final comments about anything we talked about today? Anything you guys want to bring up, mention?
Nope.
All right, well, thank you guys as always for being here, making the commute over to the studio for us. It's always an honor.
Studio's at his house.
It's been very it's been very snowy in our region of the country.
Got hit by the bomb cyclone.
So little difficult to navigate. That's but
Oh, the roads are
we
clear.
made it. We're here. The roads are cleared up. School should be back in session Monday morning. But thank you guys for being here as always. Always a pleasure. Always fun. Thank you guys for tuning into the page. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Of course, we'll be back. We'll try to be back next week if we can. Make sure you subscribe below. You leave comments. You have any questions, anything you want. One of us will respond. We're constantly checking on the daily for what's going on with our page because we want to hear from you. We want to be here for you. Also, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, we are going to be doing our very own NFL prediction show brought to you, of course, by 24/7 Sports. So make sure you tune in for that as well. So, for Cameron Taylor, Noah Matthews, Colby Andrews, and the whole 24/7 Sports crew, we're signing off.
Signing off.
Signing off.